Hey guys, Dean here back again. If you saw yesterday's video, we were in Vienna for the Christmas markets, but now I'm on a trip to Marrakech. Me and my mum went to the Christmas markets in Vienna, but now I've gone to Marrakech to see a friend. So we're gonna have a little bit of a trip for a few days. Yesterday was a little bit of a catastrophe because when we landed, we had about 5 hours of traveling and about 5 hours of waiting and delays and extra delays, like 2 hours. So we ended up being like 12 hours on the move or waiting. Then my mum basically got dehydrated and she had to go to the hospital. So we wasted a lot of time. I've had about 5 hours sleep in about 3 days, but we're here to Marrakech and we're staying at the Hotel Savoy, which is a really nice hotel. I stayed here last time. Give you a little bit of a time lapse of some of the areas and some shots. Pretty nice, and we'll just see what the week holds. I need to get back to trying to check my laptop and running some of my business operations, because while I've been away I haven't really been making that much profit, so maybe I'll include that as a segment. But I'm going to give you a little quick room tour. We have the coffee machine over here, which has been already used because my mum is literally obsessed with coffee. She just drinks so much coffee and that's probably just going to do her in eventually. Then we have some water. We have 2 single beds. This is a 2 single bed family room over here, and then we have a desk over here, the TV, which currently needs fixing, but they are sending a technician, which will be quite nice. Nice chair, desk. I'll be able to set up my laptop and MacBook over here, which should be pretty cool. And then over here we do have a pool view in the back, which is really nice. It does overlook the water, so maybe we can go swimming later. This place is literally like a small village or a city. Absolute great place. We'll have to see what the week holds and what we're going to be doing next. This is the bathroom area, very clean. Now this is quite common. I'm not sure if this is common in Morocco, but it's very common in Europe, especially in the place I've been to, like Spain, where they have this. Now for anyone who doesn't know, this is basically a bidet or a bidet, and they have these, I think they came from Japan originally. It's just basically obviously to wash your private parts and also wash your feet and stuff. Quite a nice piece of kit. Now I've always kind of been worried about using these because it's like shared utensils, I guess, but that's quite a nice thing. Never tried that before. Toilet, everything's really cleanly. For some reason we've got a phone in the toilet, so if you're literally doing your business and you want to call your grandma or something, you can literally do that in the bathroom. Don't know why. Or you can order some room service, which is just next level there. I mean, what more could you ask for? Then we have some soap over here, some nice sanitary kits, and a sink. Just basic stuff. It's just a bathroom, quite spacious. Give you the salute of approval. Now the bathroom's particularly nice. It is a walk-in bathroom. We have quite a lot of space in here, as you can see. We have the towel rack. We have a shower which has, I believe, 3 modes. You have the normal shower head, then you have this shower head which I think has 2 modes, like sprinkle and then like the rapid mode. I don't know. Obviously I'm hoping the hot and cold temperature modulation is good. And this just looks like we're in a sauna. You can even sit down here. You've got a pair of slippers and a towel. Really nice. All these soaps here. Don't know what that is. Retractable clothing line to dry your clothes. I mean, and then just hook it on there. Now that is just next level stuff. But yeah, I think this is probably the most advanced hotel I've been to. This is the 2nd time I'm coming here. But all in all, I'd probably give this a 10 out of 10. And food is served. Bon appetit, as they say, because in Morocco, of course, they do have the French influence. We have chicken couscous, which looks absolutely divine. Now some people get a little bit confused. There is the tagine, but that's obviously the stew itself. Couscous, I believe, is only orderable usually on Fridays in North Africa and Arab countries. I may be wrong, it may be Thursday, but I believe it's Friday. I think my dad did tell me it was Friday in his country, but this is quite a mainstream tourist hotel, so they do have it available today. So we've got the chicken couscous over here with the aubergine, the carrots, the chickpeas, and then I'm not sure what's in this bowl. Actually have some kind of bread in here, so let's take a gander, or maybe some kind of soup. Let's see what the thing is here for us. It's usually bread or soup. I think one time they gave me some soup. I did come here last time. Okay, so we do have some soup as well. Maybe that's a soup, or maybe that's part of the topping. I don't know. Let's eat. Right now what I'm doing is I'm listing some brand new products to test on Facebook. Now I missed the Black Friday to Cyber Monday sale season because unfortunately I couldn't get a winner up that's scaled on Facebook ads, so I kind of fumbled the bag right there. But I have sent out some organic emails with email marketing on my actual branded store to try and get some traction to see if people will buy those branded products. Those are custom clothing products. They're not actually dropshipping products, so they're completely custom, which I need to build an audience for, and my brand doesn't have much awareness yet, so I'm not sure if we'll get any sales with that. But what I'm doing is I'm listing brand new products to test. But a caveat that my supplier reminded me of today is that products during Black Friday to Cyber Monday, they're a lot harder to test because people are already scaled and people are spending the higher amounts of ad spend during this point of the year, which is the end of Q4, or you know, around the peak, the prime time of Q4, which means your tests aren't going to perform as well because other people are obviously outbidding you, because on Facebook it's basically all based on bids in terms of the marketing. So since I've got low spend on all these tests, they're not going to perform as they probably would, so I'm going to have to wait a while and maybe not kill products as quickly. But for the most part we should still be able to see some buying intent but we might not get the sales and quick fire testing that we obviously desire, so that might be a little bit of a setback. I do have one product which has been selling very well, but it's kind of temperamental. It's going up and then down some days, and I've not been able to scale it up for Black Friday or Cyber Monday, which is been really annoying, but hopefully we'll get something primed and ready to set sail soon. Also, my supplier is obviously prioritising the more higher tier clients who are getting the kind of sales that I used to with my winners, so unfortunately I haven't really had the attention I needed, which is kind of really negating my progress. So do bear in mind, if you're using a private supplier instead of a big corporation like say CJ Dropshipping, it is going to be better, but because they only have so many clients and so many agents to attend to these clients, you're not going to get priority, attention and care you need if you are not one of those higher profile clients. So that's also going to hurt you. So if you're new and you're testing, I think it's much better to use something like CJ Dropshipping or AliExpress during Q4, but obviously if you've already got something where you're scaling a private supplier, it's going to be way better. Day 2, got the work set up in the corner, and then to the left we have the chicken couscous as usual. Tomorrow I think I might get something different, but this is absolutely smashing. The hotel outside at night time is absolutely beautiful. It's lit up, there's lights around the pool, there was a concert last night with music playing, and there's like, I guess free food, or maybe it's food from the restaurant outside. I'll try and show you a little bit in a few moments. But Marrakech is really pretty obviously during the daytime and the daylight, but even at night time looks really incredible, especially obviously with the whole vibe and lighting around here. There's a lot of people eating outside, there's like a huge screen with sports on. I'm of course just in my room doing some work right now, but the vibes are immaculate as they say. So right now I'm just checking my daily numbers. As you can see, I've got loads of product tests. You won't be able to see what the names are because I've blurred them, but this is the triple whale dashboard, the interface. We're actually at midday right now at lunchtime. As you can see, we've not actually made that many sales. Currently just testing to find a winner as quick as possible. We have missed the Q4 window. We did have one product which has been selling really well right now. Today it's kind of underperforming, as you can see. We're just playing around with a few different offers and prices. As you can see, from someone who's done over $1 million of revenue, you can see that literally if a product loses traction or if you have problems with it and you have to start again, you can literally go to step 0, which is basically what I've had to do. But you can see we are working out, and this one's on 3.64 ROAS right now, which is actually pretty good. So I feel like this has some good potential. I'm not really sure what the profit is on this though, because as you can see, if we scroll across, it does say 71 profit, but I don't actually know the cogs of this right now. So if I go on Shopify right here, and I go on the product itself, I don't think I've added cogs. No, I haven't added cogs, so this probably isn't profitable yet. I think I've sold like 3 or 4 units today, so literally just fine-tuning constantly. Also, I've been doing a little bit of product research on PP ads this morning. I've basically been seeing what has the highest stats in the last 30 days in like the top 4 or top 5 countries, so we'll try and find some products maybe to move over from TikTok. I've been trying a different strategy though recently. Usually what I do is I move things over from TikTok to Facebook and then run them up on there. That seems to do quite well because not everyone seems to do that. But recently I've started just doing more on the Facebook ad library, using like Winning Hunter, finding winning products and then looking at that page's ad library and then just taking whatever else stuff that they're running. That seems to be working pretty well for me right now. And just using Facebook ad library as a product research method to find stuff that's been successful in the recent weeks. So that's my strategy right now. I did find a really good store. You might have seen it in a community post if you're sub to the channel. I found a really good store to clone, but I don't know if it's a legit store who just has a ton of winners or if it's just like a beginner with a lot of money who's just batch testing tons of products. I'm not sure, but some of them have been running for weeks, so it's a little bit confusing. But a lot of them which I have kind of taken and modeled after that store and tested myself haven't got like great results, but they do have certain offers and they are playing around with a lot of different things on the product pages, so they seem like they know what they're doing. So I do feel like it might be a big European dropshipper whose store I found. I'm not quite sure yet. I'm just gonna have to kind of keep testing stuff and seeing what they're running, which is still profitable, and see if any of them are winners. But yeah, if you find some good stores, you can literally just find an absolute gold mine. So that's another tip too. If you're scraping ad library and you find someone who's already running tons of products, you can literally just test them too, and you've already got some of the data to show that it's working, right? Also, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier in a different clip, but basically since it's been Q4, a lot of people ramp up their ad spend and they're basically outbidding you in the market. So you'll see like a huge drop in performance from like Black Friday to Cyber Monday and some of the week there on afterwards. Obviously it's Wednesday right now, so people will be descaling a little bit if the results are dropping or if they just want to spend less. So maybe it'll get a little bit easier again, but I wouldn't recommend killing tests too early during this time or during this like half a week to a week period, because you might not be getting the data which is accurate enough to kill, because your performance is just going to absolutely tank when people are outspending you, right? Unless you're a custom brand. And as you can see, my mum is on the balcony there, but you can see the hotel's absolutely beautiful day outside. I am actually staying inside today to do a little bit of work because I did actually meet a friend yesterday. So I want to focus on kind of resting and getting some work done right now, because we are making a net loss with a lot of this testing we're doing, and we're going to try and ramp up to make a profit, because we still do obviously have all the rest of December and Christmas to January, and I'm not really testing seasonal stuff. I have like 1 or 2 seasonal tests running. The rest of the stuff are kind of like evergreen things or long-term trends rather than like quick short-term Christmas trends, because by the time I test them I can't really scale them in time for Christmas, right? Hopefully next year we'll match the same kind of revenue we've done this year, but even if it like has burnt out a little bit towards the end of the year, we still made a lot of great revenue this year, which we've been able to just consistently reinvest in test stuff. And that's what you should be doing. You shouldn't be spending like that first big chunk of profit on like fast sports cars, crazy designer stuff and wasting the money. You should be reinvesting into the business to then snowball it, right? So what I've been doing is when I made that huge big chunk of revenue, which I've showed you on the case studies on this channel, I've literally not been spending. I've only spent it when I've traveled to kind of like have fun and stay at places, but for the most part I've not bought anything for myself. I've just reinvested into the business to test, because I have actually lost quite a few thousand on testing, right? And if you let your emotions get in the way, you can literally just quit. But the fact that I didn't waste the money or buy a car or anything flashy, it means I can kind of afford to lose a bit more. And also it's all business expenses anyway, so it's a tax write-off when you're spending money on ads and testing to obviously serve your business. So that's also a benefit too. So always reinvest whatever you make, and that's honestly the best strategy you can do. And we have the meal of the day, which is the chicken breast with mixed vegetables, which looks absolutely beautiful. And I think they've also given me some kind of bread here, I'm not sure. Let's take a look at this. And we've got some bread rolls to go with it too, so bon appetit. And here we are, day 3, meal 3, beef tagine. Looks just like the chicken tagine, a little bit different. The sauce over there in the bowl looks like a soup, but turns out it's the sauce. Looking forward to it. We've now moved rooms to a different room because of availability, but from here you can see we've got a completely different building, completely different view. And if we zoom right into the background, you can see the front of the hotel and the rooftops obviously, but in the distance you can see kind of like a shadow. And I'm not sure, I don't think we can actually zoom in anymore. Wait, let me see if I can zoom in. You can see all the buildings over the skyline of Marrakech, sorry, but then if we look closely, I'm not sure if you can see that. I think that might be the Atlas Mountains, I don't know, but there's definitely some mountains in the distance. And if you know anything about Marrakech, you'll know that this place is literally surrounded all by mountains, and that's why a lot of the heat is actually trapped during the summer, and why it's much hotter than areas on the coast where it can disperse all the heat to the water. So there's a little bit more of a view here, even though I believe it's not in the main third of the hotel. It's a nice little different view with the mountains, which is pretty cool. This is the view at night time from the second room in the Savoy. As you can see, the pool's all illuminated at night. Looks absolutely prestigious. I don't think the lifeguard's actually working at this point. He was there for about 12 hours, bless him, but I think he's packed his bags now. He's probably got a little bit fed up. I think that's the end of his rota for the night. Across this horizon over here, you can see some purple lights. That's actually coming from Menara Mall, I believe, which is next door, unless it's the front of this hotel. I think there's a casino somewhere near here, but I don't gamble. I don't think it's very good, but the building looks funky. And then where the mountains were now is completely faded with the horizon. We can just see all the orange lights, and it's just the black of the sky, so we can't see those mountains anymore, which I thought were the Atlas Mountains. You still have no clue. We can just see the traffic, and you can see the reflection of my face right now through the window. Even though it's getting quite late, I think it's only like 7 PM, a lot of people are up even past 12 here, and they even have picnics on the side of the road. road, like from 12 o'clock onwards. It's still going to be super lively and buzzing, but right now we're not in the main centre, so I can't show you that. But nighttime vibes look just as cool over here on this side. Right, so we have now left the Menorah Mall and we're around the Galiz area, and we're actually in a place called the Radisson Blu, which I think is some kind of chain. I've heard about it before, but very nice people at the reception, very welcoming. So this is what we're working with right here. We've got the sink set up with all of the soaps and amenities, some kind of mirror here, I don't know what that's all about, coffee machine behind us, some kind of switches here, I think that's for the electric shaver, I don't know what kind of safety is on that. Shower, none of the lights are on because I've just come in here, so as you can see it's very dimly lit right now, so you can ignore all of that. And there's another compartment here which looks like we're going into a space station, but this is actually just the bathroom. Then I believe we have the cupboard, we have some kind of compartment in here which is just some shelves. I would presume if this opens up, surely there'd be a fridge. Is there a fridge? Let's open the cupboards. This is all part of the mystery. There's a safe, an ironing board, that's another solid. Then we have a coffee machine, some water, some coffee pods, and also this hot chocolate stuff which I haven't drank. It was at all the other hotels too, so they must stock up on this. Shock out. I'm wondering, oh there's some other random drawers here. I'm wondering if there's some kind of fridge here. I don't think there's a fridge, unless I'm stupid, I don't know. Okay, this is a hairdryer. I think these are just cupboards. Then these are the beds up here. I'm going to leave the whole fridge thing. I think it's just a big mystery at this point. Got 2 single beds, of course. I have to pull them apart a bit. We've got the big TV. Nice desk space to do a bit of work on. And a light. Quite a modern room, to be honest. I think this building's been around, I think he said, since 2016. Yeah, very nice and modern. This is, of course, a Western chain. And there is a bit of a balcony outside. Of course, you can see the other apartments and stuff. But even though there's not too much of a view, this is in, like, one of the main areas in Galiz. So it's quite central. There's a lot of shops nearby, so we'll have to check them out later. And after some trial and error, I figured it out, or at least we figured it out. You basically pop open this with a bit of force, and there is, in fact, a minibar over here. I'll show you the prices. Maybe you can just like do a freeze frame. I have no clue about the currencies. And if we pop it open, there is a little bit of a selection. I think we've got pineapple, we've got orange, we've got, I think this is sparkling water, 2 normal waters, Haribo's, some mixed nuts, some pistachios, Red Bull. Don't want to be drinking that, it's just going to amp me up and probably kill me. Then we have some Cokes, Coke Zero. I think this is some kind of sparkling water, is it? Schweppes, I think that's like a tonic water or lemonade. There is alcohol here, even though we're in Morocco, which is interesting. I guess this is a Western hotel, so it makes sense. We have some dark chocolate, and you can't live without the Pringles. And I think the Pringles is all part of a strategy, because if you don't know, Pringles have MSG in. So once you open the Pringles, they're just addicted, and that's why they have the once you pop, you can't stop. So I think the biggest mistake would be to buy the Pringles from the snack bar, because then you're going to eat the whole snack bar. If you're watching this channel for the whole e-commerce content, then that's what they're doing to increase the average order value. They're slipping the Pringles in there, so you eat the rest. Smart.